Historically speaking, the authoritarian playbook is always the same. Their ultimate goal is to consolidate power, and they always use the same time-tested techniques. First, they start by attacking the free press. This is just a way to weaken the media's ability to hold the ruler accountable. You can see this dynamic at play when Trump calls any negative coverage of his administration fake news and threatens to take away the media's credentials. Next, they will usually try to blame the country's problems on minorities or use other vulnerable populations as scapegoats. This gives the ruler a way to validate people's concerns while redirecting their anger towards a specific ethnic group. If people start protesting or revolting, they will blame the dissent on foreigners or paid protesters. This usually gives the ruler justification to use force against civilians or to strengthen internal police forces. Next, they'll try to weaken judicial checks on power. They usually do this by publicly discrediting judges or the judicial system, defunding departments that investigate internal criminal activity, and working to remove people from powerful positions that are not loyal to the regime or its ruler, which leads us to the value of loyalty. Authoritarians will always reward loyalty over competence because they fear a system that holds them to the same ethical and legal standard as everyone else. This is why you usually start to see very unqualified people running departments that they shouldn't be running. Under an authoritarian system, their loyalty is more valuable than their knowledge or skill. The good news is that humanity has had plenty of practice defeating authoritarian leaders. The one thing that works surprisingly well is nonviolent resistance. In fact, studies show that between 1900 and 2006, campaigns of nonviolent civil resistance were twice as successful as violent campaigns in defeating authoritarian leaders around the world. Nonviolent resistance movements are especially effective because they make it harder for the regime to justify using violence on its own people. The same studies also show that no government can withstand the challenge of 3.5% of its population. So what can you do? Authoritarians thrive on popular fear and collective resignation. The most powerful thing you can do is simply participate in resistance campaigns that are peaceful and nonviolent. Following movements like Indivisible or participating in campaigns by the ACLU are good places to start. Democracy is more fragile than we think. Let's put into action this time-tested way to defeat authoritarianism before it's too late. Peace.